Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Eckstein, voice of Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars, and you are listening to the Magic Our Way podcast with Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Lee. And may the Force be with you.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Sante Sun, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana, in the United States of America. We are artistic buffs talking about Disney stuff, and this is the show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us for this show. We present our Walt Disney World 50th Anniversary Trip Report. And look, this isn't your typical polished, practiced, pixie dust and Disney podcast. No! We are not in the parks every day trying to tell you the best way to design your car at Test Track 2.0 so that you can win all the categories.
That's right, Kevin. We here to drink, talk some Disney, and hear about what made y'all's 50th anniversary trip so special.
And all you guys got to do is sit back and just listen and learn.
That's right. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
And I'm Maid Marvin Man Eli.
And this is Lee, letting you know if you're going down for the 50, it's going to be nifty. And that's all I got. I couldn't think of anything better.
That was kind of thrifty.
But a little drifty.
It's kind of queefty.
Kind of queefty?
Yeah.
Queefty.
If you're going down the 50, it's going to be a little drifty.
Tokyo drifty?
That's right.
Could be nipply.
Break out your brandy snifty. Plus, somebody else that joined us on the 50th is our special guest. Special guest, who are you, sir?
Well, who am I? Oh, yes.
Who is you?
It's Kirk.
Who
Again.
be you?
Back one more time.
That's it? Just Kirk?
Come with us,
plain
plain
Kirk.
Who are you?
Come for the abuse, stay for the love. Wait, reverse that.
Come for the love.
Yeah, come for the love, stay for the abuse.
Yes.
You
'Cause
said
there's,
that.
there's so much of both of them.
Hey,
Either
we-
way.
Because first comes the pleasure, then comes the pain.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, like sunshine and rain.
Especially when Eli gets behind you.
And Rob Bass.
Give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
You doing okay, though, with everything down there and everything?
We're dealing.
All right.
We're dealing. I called Operation Blue Roof to come do my roof right after the storm.
Yes, sir.
They just finished yesterday. They showed up 2 days ago.
They put a tarp on your roof.
Yep.
Good job,
Many
man.
tarps.
Many tarps.
Mini tarp.
How many tarps?
Plenty tarp.
Plenty tarps.
Lily
tarp.
top.
Sounds like a He-Man
It's
person.
He
Plenty
Many
tarps.
tarps.
Manny
tarps.
Manny faces, plenty tarp.
There you go.
All right, so enough of our jibber jabber guys. Let's go discuss some Disney Parks magic.
Get a sausage on the bayou.
Kirk.
Okay, I'm offended by the stereotype.
Oh, yeah?
Wait.
Y'all
Why
need
not
to stop
stereotype?
it. Y'all need to stop it. Not all people who live in South Louisiana, as y'all probably can attest to, listen to that kind of music and speak like that.
We live in South Louisiana, and I
y'all,
totally listen to that
y'all
music.
are being
and
totally offensive.
that is,
Oh, you want to show us how it's done? I can play the music again.
No,
How should it be done?
I don't listen to that kind of music.
I
don't?
listen to that kind of
I don't-
music.
I don't
what are you trying
record
to say
music.
about people who listen to that kind of music?
Yeah,
I'm
what-
not saying nothing.
what you saying?
I'm just saying you're stereotyping Cajun people, and that's offensive.
You
I'm
feel
telling
offended
you,
by
I'm hurt.
what we just
This
did?
is part of the abuse.
I
you
listen
show
to
up
that.
that I'm
Can I tell
staying
you something?
for.
I listen to that on the way to work every morning, and it's better than cappuccino. That wakes me up
How far do you go to get to work?
from here to there.
Yeah.
I walk out the back
As long as
door
you
and
enjoy it.
Yes.
I just want
And
to
then,
say I
boom.
appropriated the Cajun culture
And
because
it's
I
very
embrace
short.
it.
There
Intro,
are
right?
whole radio stations that play that stuff all Saturday and Sunday mornings. Listen to all you want.
You know what? Gambit is awesome. He's Cajun.
I got one thing to say. You can do it!
Oh, yeah, shit.
Come on, Babu.
Just like the guy,
Bullshit.
the assistant coach from Waterboy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, guys, a couple announcements, man. Look, don't forget we are on Patreon, so if you want to join our patrons on there to get some exclusive content and whatnot, and help support the show greatly, like every single dollar you get goes directly to us.
Yeah, please support us on Patreon. Please, baby.
Join. Kirk's a patron on our Patreon.
I am.
Proud patron, So join all those long time of weekends and support. And even if you're new weekend, if you love this stuff, join us, man. We'd love to have your support. And also, too, just want to let you know that last show we talked about some Dope Whip beer. And so here we are. Kirk is in studio, in the Fat City Studios. I brought some Dope Whip beer.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. So let me pass these around real quick.
Oh, can I tell you something? Eli was just talking to Dope Whip about sponsoring us.
Oh, yeah. What the hell happened?
Well, I'll let Eli tell the story, but my understanding is that they are very happy that we're mentioning them on our podcast, but very stingy with the money.
Why, you do say so, sir. Yes, I did reach out to them because the first time we had a taste of go ahead and give this a crack, Kirk, while we talk about that.
Yeah, and we're doing this because at first we were going to do this down at Walt Disney World, but we didn't get a chance to do it. So one thing led to another, or we're drinking other stuff. But if you remember Dope Whip beer made by the Port Orleans Brewery Company.
And if it looks like Port Orleans, the font from the resort.
And if you like Dole Whip, we mentioned this is a very good beer. So, Kirk, your first impressions of Dope Whip. Oh, he got oh my goodness.
Oh, my goodness. This is so pineapple-y.
Does that not taste like a Dole Whip?
Is that good or bad?
That is a liquid Dole Whip.
You like that?
I like this.
Tell him you like it. Look him right in the camera and let him know you like it.
This is good stuff.
See, those of you.
Good stuff.
I told you, marketing director of Dope Whip, when I emailed you and said we talk about
what was her name?
His name.
His name. Call him out.
Oh, man, I'll pull up that email. I could do that right now. If you know it, I'll do it.
They were totally cool with us mentioning it on the show, but a little iffy on paying us to sponsor them.
Dude said he was like, yeah, you can talk about all you want. I said, look, just want a little sponsorship. And look, those of you who happen to run a brewery, anything, we will try your beer. We will go through the adventure to get your beer. But when we reach out to you for an advertisement, that's right, YouTube, Twitter, all that, we will go ahead and back you up. Just give us a shot.
But more importantly than that, we are honest. And here we are promoting a beer that won't even pay us.
Yeah.
That wants us to talk about them, but won't pay us to talk about them. But it's so good that we can't not talk about it.
It's a really good beer. And then look, check this out. If you happen to find this in your own grocery store, make sure that you tell them that you heard about this beer on the Magic Our Way podcast. And then maybe we can establish more of a relationship with Port Orleans Brewery, one of our hometown breweries.
Put the screws to it. That's what I say. Put the screws to it. But yeah, anytime we want to talk about it, the marketing director said we can talk about Dope Whip as much as we like. And I told Kevin I'm going to send him the email as proof. So if they try to send us a cease and desist, we cannot be stopped.
We got the
cease and desist from talking about how good their beer is?
Exactly. You never know. It's a strange
We
world.
will talk about how good their beer is all day, as long as we can talk about how cheap they are and not agreeing to sponsor the Magic Our Way podcast.
You're correct, sir.
Thank you.
The hometown Disney podcast. There you go.
Yes, and we are from New Orleans. They are a New Orleans brewery.
They are a New Orleans brewery.
Does it not taste like a Dole Whip and beer?
You like it? You like it?
A liquid Dole Whip. You can't even taste the beer.
You like that, huh? It's good. I like it too.
Good.
I got 2 more 4-packs in the fridge chilling out, waiting for
Get
us to
out
tell
of
you.
here.
Yeah. Conseco's Grocery, thank you for stocking this stuff. I bought a whole bunch. And even a 4-pack to take home.
Wow.
And share with the family.
So you must be broke now, because that was like $20 a 4-pack, right?
Yeah, don't remind me.
How much you want them to sponsor us for in case they come back?
Cost of a 4-pack.
Well, you know what?
There you go.
It doesn't say Dole Whip, but you can all tell.
There's a suggestion of
Disney suggestion to it. If it's $5 a beer, that's even cheaper than Disney prices.
All right, move on. I ain't
You're
giving
right,
these
all right.
people
So
no more
anyway,
hype. Let's move on.
So Dope Whip beer. Kirk finally tried it. Very, very good stuff, man.
glad you
Check
liked
it
it,
out.
man.
Glad you finally tried it.
And as we said, if you find it in your grocery store and you want to purchase some, just tell them you write into them, say how much you love it. Tell them you heard it right here on this show, Magic Our Way Podcast.
Thank you so much, Kevin. That's a really good idea.
Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our service to the test. Tie your napkin around.
Here we are on Guest Services, and this is a segment in which we get to service you, each and every one of you, the listeners. And today we got a mix of guest service stuff, both coming from Facebook as well as email, but it's all surrounding the last podcast that came out about y'all's Disneyland trip report. And I felt like some recognitions because these people wrote in. They really enjoyed the trip report. So if you haven't listened to it, make sure you go back on podcast number 394.
Dude, I appreciate everybody who reached out on social media, who texted us personally, who emailed us, anybody and everybody. Thank y'all so much for appreciating our pain, because if anything good came out of that trip, that we were able to entertain any of y'all, that meant a lot. So thank y'all.
Yes. So I was going to pull out some of these things because they were just great. First of all, we got long time a weekend, Rochelle. She said, Richard and I were listening on Wednesday, and I just kept saying, Jesus is saying, stay home.
I saw her saying that.
He sent a hurricane and a blood clots and mono. I don't know what to tell you. Glad you made it back okay. But next time, listen to baby Jesus.
I'm gonna use a quote from, since it's the Halloween season, I'm gonna use a quote from Halloween 4. Jesus ain't had nothing to do with that trip.
Yeah.
Jesus with hands off.
Jesus was nowhere to be found. We were praying to baby Jesus to save us, and Jesus was like, "Yeah, I'm busy." No, I saw that post from her on Facebook, and I responded to that. I was like, because I said that a couple of times on a trip. We didn't need a travel agent. We needed an exorcist.
Yeah.
We had so much bad luck. So yeah, no, that's 100% true. I just wish Jesus would have started making his presence known before we paid it off.
Yeah. And of course, like on that episode still, if I would have been like, no, I'm not comfortable with going, Danny as a friend would have stopped it. And so part of that is being, I do love Jesus, but at the same time, I needed to get out. So everybody can definitely understand that need. Hella high water, when that vacation comes, you got to go for it. But it takes it all. Loser takes a fall.
There you go.
There you go.
That was funny, though. That was a good comment.
That was a good comment. Yeah,
no,
I like that.
She's on point.
All right, so I have another listener, also part of the Week of Pleasure Island 33 Facebook group. I'm sorry, Magic Our Way Pleasure Island 33 Facebook group. Kyle, and he says, this was the most incredible story. Holy hell. Been going to Disneyland all my life, and I haven't encountered a single experience that Danny and Eli went through. Triple crying laughter face.
Wow.
And I think I did reply to him as well. And I said, like, to be fair, Disney had very little to do with why so many things went wrong.
It was all external, right?
It was all external. Disney did its job. It was us. Like, the fault was ours. We got to own it. And yeah, no, but I still love Disneyland. It's still my favorite park. And I
just staying on site next time.
Yes.
Well, there's that.
Your travel
There's
part.
that.
Simply yes.
There's that, and this is also
Pick who you travel with, right?
It's a moral tale. It's a moral tale. It's about who you go with as well as what will happen. So
Follow the Wisp.
yeah.
Yes.
Follow the Wisp, yes.
But thank you, Kyle, for writing. Yeah,
Yes,
he's a cool
yes,
cat.
absolutely,
Very cool
100%.
cat. I follow him on Facebook and Instagram as well. Very cool guy.
And also from our Pleasure Island Facebook group is Richard, and he says, this episode is a thesis statement of why I love Magic Our Way podcast.
Wow.
It's a hell of a story told impeccably. I want so badly to describe it, but I cannot. Danny and Eli tell it so well, I simply can't do it justice. And the thing is, if this story wasn't about Disneyland, like if Danny published this as a novel or a teleplay and changed the location to anywhere to avoid any legal harassment, it would be a brilliant National Lampoon Vacation level story.
I'm like, when I read that, like, seriously, that was like, every dime we paid was worth it to hear that comment. And when he wrote that, I was like, wow, it really touched me. It really, that meant something to me that he said that.
Yeah, that was big. That was pretty epic.
Yes.
I felt something with that too.
Yes.
And stuff. So yeah, very awesome. So you can join us in our Pleasure Island Facebook group and join in the fun there and talk to us. And like you said, they'll reply to you. So make sure you find us there.
And I believe we did.
And we did. Yes.
We did.
I tried to make it a point because, I mean, I've been off Facebook, y'all know why, for like the last week and a half, close to that. So I haven't really been able to see much lately, but I made sure to follow everything along with that trip, and I saw every post that was put on there about that trip report. And again, I got private texts from people about what we wrote. Really? What we said, I'm sorry. And the response was overwhelming. Like I said, it almost made the whole thing worth it. It really did. And by the way, like, update, I don't have mono. It's been...
Hey, no mono. No mono.
No, I want you to get it. I don't have it either. So,
yay. No mono.
No mono. No, but like,
No
that
mono.
was a great show. I'm glad people checked in on it, and I'm glad we survived it.
Well, Eli, it doesn't end there.
Oh, there's more.
There is an email. Here we go.
Who's next?
And we have an email from John M. Again, saving the last names to protect the innocent. And he says, Jumbo from SoCal. And he wrote it correctly. Jumbo. Gambaux. All the letters.
Jumbo.
So appreciate that, John. Thank you for doing that.
Okay.
And he said, my son, daughter, and I had the pleasure of meeting Eli at the Off the Page store at Dizzy's California Adventure.
Oh my God, I know these people.
Yes.
In parentheses, my son was admiring Eli's Captain America shirt.
Yes.
You remember this?
Yes, I do. Yes. I was in the store.
You're one personable everyone who meets you just relates to you immediately. That is unbelievable. If that guy in the plane writes in, Dude,
It's over. It's
all
over.
homage to you. That is
Magic.
all praise be to the Honorable Eli.
Man, thank you, sir. No, look, I love this show. I love you guys. I love the fans. And like anytime I talk to somebody and they're like, "Where you going?" I'm going to Disney. If I'm out, I will rep, Star Wars, especially a Marvel shirt, and that's where Jumbo and his son. His son actually saw me because he had a Captain America T-shirt on. He's like,
So y'all bonded over the Captain America shirt.
Yeah, kid was cool. I was shopping. The kid saw me, and he's like, "Oh, I like your shirt." And I was like, "Hey, man, I like your shirt." And he was
But
like,
again,
"Oh."
it's in kid sizes, so I can't
I
get
can't
it.
get it. I just bought it as a Captain America shield, and on across it says "Legendary" over it because after I almost died on that trip, I was like, I felt having a
deserve that
shield
shirt.
shirt with that on it.
You've earned it.
And so he saw that, and he's like, "I like your shirt." And he had a Captain America shield shirt as well, and it was like the Winter Soldier was kind of like a dim color shirt. And I was like, "Yeah, I like what you got." She's like, "Do you read comic books?" I was like, "Kid, are you kidding me? You know who you're talking to?" And so like we started talking about all the Marvel stuff, strictly Captain America. So this gentleman, he came up and he was like, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry if we bother you." I said, "Oh man, like, dude, we're Disney's kids. We good. So then, I told him about the show and
They mentioned that, yes.
pulled it up and everything. So very nice family. Very nice family.
People don't realize how personable Eli is. Like, he is literally the most personable member of this podcast.
He's a teddy bear.
Like, seriously,
I don't know about most personal.
he sat next to a person on the way to our Disney World trip, and within an hour and a half, it turned him into a Magic Our Way fan. Had him checking out the podcast, and that is why he is the highest level. Like, just to be able to talk to Eli on the phone for an hour, he will talk about your life.
Yeah, that's no joke. He will.
He will
I can't.
get in depth. He is curious. He wants to talk to you. And I'm telling you, he talked to that dude for like an hour and a half on the plane, and they became fast friends.
Fast friends. He
That's
wrote me.
awesome.
I knew he was going to visit his wife and his family on the West. He better show up for that. He's like, "Yep." Texted me, made sure he was there, and we still keep up. So absolutely.
And this guy asked him a ton of questions about Disney, and Eli could answer none of it.
yeah, absolutely.
None of
Absolutely.
it.
I was-
Because he's not that kind of a Disney fan. He's a Disney fan, but he's not like the hard, like
Like a Disney
we
fan.
are.
Yeah.
He's just the everyman of this podcast that relates to
every man.
It just happens to know Disney fans.
But that's why I got that's why I got y'all. They say, "Hey, what about DVC memberships?" And go to the podcast, we talk about that. Well, what about when you travel about? Go to the podcast, we talk about that. So yes, I keep it straight as it is.
Now, if you want relationship advice, email Eli.
Yeah,
Eli
he'll do it
totally
all.
call you up and
Let's
talk
talk.
to you. And
Let's
Golden
talk.
Oak level Patreon. He will do that.
all day. I'm waiting for you.
he'd do it for free, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but
it's
we
true.
don't want to
Yeah, he would.
advertise
Yeah,
that
we don't
because
do
we
that,
need
yeah.
a
Tell you
Patreon.
what, back
Yeah,
to
we don't want to pour Orleans in.
But Jumbo was like, he was going to his son. He was like, "Okay, we got to go, son." He's like, "Oh man, like I want to talk to you." He's like,
You say Jumbo?
Yeah,
Like John Bo?
like Rambo, like Jumbo. That's what.
That's clever. No, I like that because his name's John. And say instead of Jumbo, John Bo.
yeah, Jumbo.
I like it.
Rambo and Jumbo.
Hey,
Jumbo,
Harambe.
everyone. I'll take it.
Yeah, but like, yeah, his son really loved having a conversation with me about Captain America, and so that was totally cool. And then and I get it, like, if you're a dad, you see your son talking to some man, and we're both wearing masks, you don't know him, and he was just being protective, and so that's what I talked to him as a father to a father. I say, "No, it's okay. Your son is just, he's excited. He's being creative. We bought it over the shirt because my fashion was on point on these trips. Like, I couldn't get away with how I dress here." But like out there, like, man, I bust a shoe with some shorts. And
You like Lee with that stuff.
they like, yeah, I can't match the shoes with the hat, the bandana.
But you
like,
could.
have bandana, but yeah, but that's how I bring it to the table. So, but I talked to him as a dad that said, "No, your son is awesome. He's just asking questions about comics, and I'm a comic guy, and I talked about the show, and he looked up the show." So there was also mutual respect as a parent to a parent. So no, that's awesome that he wrote.
Yeah, so he wrote it. He thoroughly loved y'all's podcast review. Not review, trip report from Disneyland. So 394, he thoroughly loved it. And he goes on to say this in his email. It says, "I've been a pass holder for many years, and I enjoyed your perspective as fans from NOLA. I just have a few questions / observations.
Oh,
so
okay.
then we can
Wow.
address each one of these as we go. So
But is this something that we need to answer, or this is like something that you can touch on?
I think all of us could kind of touch upon it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's got them broken down in bullet points.
Wow.
'Cause he's a professor. So
Go
we get
for it, John Boo.
So here's your first bullet point. It says, Did you look into landing at John Wayne Airport in Orange County? It's much closer than LAX, and our cabbies rarely have to deal with people who carry handguns. Wink.
Yes, it was expensive, and there was no direct flight. It was too expensive. There was no direct flight into it, and so that's where everything went off the rails. It's like we had a direct flight from New Orleans to LA. Now, if we knew we would have had to take a connecting flight, that may have gone ahead and spurred us to spend a little bit extra to go into John Wayne.
Yeah, and we're aware of it because when we did our last podcast trip, what was it, like 2018? Is that right? We flew directly into John Wayne, SNA. That's what, because I fly into that just to visit family, but it's the closest thing to Anaheim and all that kind of stuff. It's a great little airport.
It was Southwest. I mean, it was all Southwest. If you pay attention to the news, Southwest is canceling flights willy-nilly.
Oh, it's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that happened the other week. Yeah.
It was the idea that we had a direct flight into LA, and that decreased our time. Whereas if we go to John Wayne, it would have cost a little bit more, and there was a connecting flight, if I remember correctly. But there was no direct flights into John Wayne.
Yeah,
I promise
at the time,
you.
yeah. So the itineraries are kind of skewed, so it's a little crazy.
But it's a good point. Absolutely, 100% on
Ideal.
point.
That'd be the most ideal place for us to fly into if you want to do it.
100%.
What did he ask about the
No, he
cabbies?
didn't ask it. He just said that the cabbies don't have handguns.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They rarely have to deal with cabbies carrying handguns.
I was gonna say,
Okay,
yeah, remember, blame that on the little kid. She decided our fate. Again, our fate was decided by children on that trip. It was like a weird Star Trek episode.
If the cab is going to start something, he should have a handgun now.
That cabby, you know what? That cabby should have had like a bazooka or something. Like when
Had a
that dude was
flak jacket or
like,
something.
"Hey, I got
Yeah.
a thing." Like,
For as
well,
much
yeah.
as he ran his mouth, I agree.
Exactly.
And so the next bullet point we have, and this could probably Lee could probably speak to this if he's familiar with this. All right, but he has a bullet point with 2 subpoints. I'll read through all this and then we can respond. And he says, regarding hotels off-site, I'd recommend staying at the Best Western Plus Park Place Inn Mini Suite. Number 1, it's right across the street from the hub for Disneyland and Disney's California Venture. The buffet breakfast isn't bad, and you'll deal with less interesting denizens of Anaheim.
I like that.
I love his use of the word denizen.
I like
that
that.
is spot on.
Yes.
I knew that was a smart dad.
And his last point is, I've stayed there, and the rooms are clean, and I've never had anyone in my room when I checked in. Wink.
Yeah, unfortunately, they were booked up. This is a very popular hotel. It's right across the street. You can literally walk into Disneyland, like boom, right there. It's the go-to because it is so close, but it was booked up.
I was going to say, I can tell you, I was like, yeah, if that was available, I would have totally done that. So that is a great thing to note. If we're able, Lee, write that down, dude, because if we're ever going back to Disney and for whatever reason we end up in a coma and we decide that we're going to stay off site, then make sure
there's
we end
about
up
2
there.
or 3 right there that are super close, but they go fast. You got that one and the Tropicana and the Candy Cane all are like 1, 2, 3 closest to the parks. Closer than the what's the cheaper one at the inside called? I can't think of it right now.
Paradise Pier?
It's closer than Paradise Pier. So, but those also get booked up like right away. So this was a little more of a last minute trip, and they were all. So me and Danny went through like the whole map. We're like, hey, what about this? Nope, sold out. Hey, what about this? Nope, sold out. Hey, and I was like, well, I've heard good things about this hotel. Nope, sold out. So.
Yeah,
Great
tough.
advice, though. Great advice.
No, that's good to know but at the time, it's also about, again, who you go with and if they are willing to let all out happen when going on the vacation.
Yeah.
Let all that happen.
I got
that.
AEW on my mind. I can tell you.
All right, his next bullet point, he says, thanks for the head up regarding web slingers. I haven't gone on it yet, and apparently I can wait on it.
It's not worth it.
Oh, you can wait on it. You could totally wait on it.
Yeah, you can. And I'm a Spider-Man fan. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan.
Try Toy Story Mania. It's pretty much the same thing.
Hurts less.
With less
Less
upper
pain.
arm
With this carpal tunnel.
fatigue.
You
Yes.
know
Yes.
what, though? I did some exercise. I did that the other day just to kind of like get my arm, blood pumping.
How's
and
that
stuff.
again? Okay.
Like
Oh.
that.
Oh, you did that?
Were you alone when you were doing that?
I was. That's why I did it.
Did you spray your web all over the wall?
I
Neck
got
and chest.
I got over 1 million points. I tell you that.
Was your spidey senses tingling?
That's it.
He got his spidey tingle?
You want to come by my house, see if you can stick to the walls?
Hey!
All right. Anyway,
Just don't bring a black light or nothing.
Spider-Man shoots his webs where he can.
Gross.
Now, other than his impeccable choice of words here, his next bullet point, it really started to sell me on this guy. And I'd love to meet him one day. But he says this, regarding In-N-Out, I agree. I am also a second-generation native Californian, and it is overrated. If you want to have... And he goes on to suggest this, and this is really kind of I like this guy. He said, if you want to have some great fast food that you don't have in Louisiana, I highly recommend Jollibee's.
What?
Jollibee's.
Yes,
Awesome.
That's like Applebee's, but
never heard of that.
No,
Yeah,
it's,
Jollibee's is a Filipino. It's basically a
Yeah.
Filipino fast food joint.
Get out of here.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
awesome. They got one in Tampa. If I had time, I would have driven out to Tampa to get some.
You've been here.
Yeah, I've been to Jollibee. Yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
I'm very familiar with Jollibee.
A fast food Filipino joint.
I know it's great, isn't it?
What do
never
they
heard
serve?
of such a thing.
Who'd have thunk?
What do they serve? Like that. First of all, that's right on. But
First of
what
all,
do
the
they
whole
serve?
family works there. Like this, they're all related.
All of Kevin's family?
No, but like the whole family.
I was like,
One family owns the
that's
whole
what I
restaurant. It's like the cousins all work there. And
I didn't even know that. I should get them to sponsor us.
that's why I
Damn
went
it.
over there to see how my people were doing.
They've
Why
been
are we
holding
talking
out.
about this when you could... Yeah.
Did hype that?
Hey, my family's been holding out on me, man. That's because I was born in America. That's what it was.
That's why you got a beautiful family, though, because they're all over there hard working just like you.
That's right.
That's why
Fast
we love
food
you.
joint that serves spaghetti.
Well, no, it's here. The main thing that they serve is something what they call chicken
Love.
joy.
Do they
Oh,
serve
that's
do they serve chicken adobo or
They
something?
do. They serve chicken adobo.
In a fast food joint?
Yeah, well, let me tell you. So their main dish is called chicken joy, which is fried chicken,
Okay.
and they serve it with like gravy on the side. So you could dunk your fried chicken in the gravy and eat it.
Where's the got one of these?
Wait,
It's freaking awesome.
that is joy.
Chicken with gravy?
It's
What?
chicken joy.
I think Filipinos is brothers just from like another area because that's like a straight like southern thing
Oh
to
yeah,
have happen.
dude. When we were evacuated, we went there to Tampa, and yeah, I ate the piss out of that.
That is
It's
Joy
piss out.
Bees
Is
right
Tampa
there.
the closest one?
That's the closest one, and the closest one to us would be Lee. Is it one in Houston or is it in Dallas? I'm thinking of.
This is crazy.
There's a Jollibee.
I think there are a couple, at least one in Houston, because I told you this before. My brother, his wife is Filipino, so I remember him posting something about they went to go to it. So I think there's at least one in Houston.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's in Houston. I think In-N-Out's in Dallas. But yeah, the closest one to Disney, if we're ever down there, Walt Disney World, is Tampa. And they're opening another one in Orlando and one in around Daytona or some other beach.
What was that place that you went to in were you
In Tampa, that was Jollibee.
No. Wasn't there another thing? Or was that
No, that was Jollibee.
That
Yeah.
was Jollibee?
Yeah, that was Jollibee.
Okay.
Yeah. And to answer your question, they serve Filipino style spaghetti, which is a little different because it's a little sweeter, and it has hot dogs in it. So they chop up hot dogs and stick it to spaghetti, and they have all your Well, I'll read what he says.
That's what we used to do back in the day. We take ramen and cut. Okay.
Yeah, they got spicy fried chicken, hamburger steak. This is Filipino dish called palabok, which is basically noodles and stuff.
Okay.
And peach mango pies are delicious. They're fried. They're
so this
awesome.
is like you could go through a drive. Like I'm legit. I'm not making a joke. You could like go through a drive-through and say, "I want."
You could drive through. You could go to the counter. You could do it on the phone. They're just like any other fast food joint, but they're purely Filipino.
That sounds like a very first of all, those dishes sound awesome.
No,
But
they're awesome.
Second,
Yeah.
they are sound like very complicated dishes that you just can't really put in a bag.
Yeah, it's interesting that they've made it into fast food, how they've done it, but it's a really good place.
Okay.
That's one of my stops when I visit my family in
A Yum
California.
Burger.
Jumbo.
Oh,
Yum Burger.
yeah, Yum Burgers, not bad.
Okay.
Aloha Yum Burger. Double patty, pineapple ring, bacon, aloha dressing.
Man, I'm marrying a Filipino woman. This sounds good.
Shaka.
There you go.
Man.
Yeah. Aloha.
Yeah, and apparently there's 3 locations in Houston. I just looked it up. There's one on Main Street, which is like downtown Houston, and there's one in Missouri City, and there's one on Westheimer. So yeah, man, there's 3 of them in Houston. I might be near one this week. I might check it out.
That
You
is
should.
like the happiest way to get fat I could ever think of. Like,
Oh, you could easily get that.
Burger steak.
Oh, yeah, burger steak.
That's
yeah.
just
Burger
hamburger patties
steak?
with gravy and
Burger
rice
steak.
and mashed potatoes. That's right.
Never have had
Right.
a Filipino
Wow.
burger in my life, and I'm
Me
a
neither.
burger
Yeah.
aficionado.
I had the
So
chicken
that
adobo
is-
though.
The chicken, yeah, they got you can get
Chicken,
some little chicken.
like Filipino.
They got adobo
dishes-
rice, they call it.
I would say Filipino dishes, the few that I've had, are massively addictive.
Well, we should go to Houston and visit Lee because they have a killer Filipino buffet in Houston. You could try get all your Filipino fills. If you like buffet.
Do we have
I'll just
to
go
do
to my brother's house.
Danny likes to eat
That's
healthy.
true.
You can't.
No, there's no healthy in that. We love pork.
You can't you gotta is there some lettuce or
Is
some
there-
other
is
kind
there
of rabbit
vegetable
food?
adobo?
Yeah, there's some
Uh,
vegetables and stuff. Yeah, you
I
get
can't-
vegetables.
Get some pancit.
I was gonna say
I've made some vegetable pancit. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well
I've done
there you
that.
go.
yeah, but
Now
you're not
I'll do
cooking
that.
at the place. We depend on somebody else.
Oh, yeah,
to
yeah, it
cook
depends, yeah,
you gonna
no.
talk to the cook. He'll be like, "Hey, I'm Kevin the store." Like, "Oh, Kevin, your cousin made this place. Yeah, come on in and talk to us."
Is that what Filipino people sound like?
No, they don't. I'm
Doesn't
so
sound-
sorry. Just let me have my
don't
thought,
sound
It's just like
okay?
my family gatherings. Wow.
Wow.
You nailed it.
I just want to be sure that was an authentic accent.
That was not. But I just felt really attached once he said it was noodles and hot dogs cut into the thing. Because we used to do that like back in the day. So I just think that's just a very
Oh,
odd
you thought that
connection.
was soul food, but no, that was Filipino.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yes.
saying, baby. You know
world
what?
food.
All
Yes.
the time I've been searching for the wrong person.
Yeah.
Because them food.
Brother.
Thank you.
Brother.
The food that I've
Shaka.
heard made,
Shaka.
I did not
Cuz.
know
Shaka, cuz.
existed. Man, I'm crying on the
Hang
inside.
loose, brother. Hang loose.
Pineapple with burgers. Boy, I'm done. Find me a girl right now.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll go to California Disneyland trip, and we'll find you a Filipino.
go
I
into
may
Ke-
never come back.
Stay away from Kevin's family, though. It's off
Oh, that's
limits.
your job?
No, it's off limits. It's family. That's family. Can't mess with
No, yeah.
I was gonna say you are telling me that. Oh my
I don't know
God!
what you're talking
episode
about.
is
I don't
that?
know what you're talking
Find
about.
the last trip report.
2018, I believe, yeah.
2018.
Family podcast. Family
That's how
podcast.
he
All right,
remembers you back.
Family podcast.
Oh,
family
his
podcast.
people.
Family.
All right, and the last bullet point.
I ain't trying to get Kevin to kill me. That's your job. What you trying to do? I know what this dude. I've seen this dude do a haka. I'm sorry, Kevin. Go back to what Jabbo said.
Went on a road trip with this man. I know what he can do.
We'll say
And I
that
saw
for
his
later.
cousin, and I can't necessarily say I blame people, but
No, he's a beautiful family. Kevin,
Beautiful.
Kevin's a beautiful man. He's a beautiful
and the
family.
Filipino-ness. Yeah.
It's
That's
very
right.
beautiful.
It's our ethnicness.
We love you, Kevin.
Oh, thank you. I love y'all too. And his last bullet point, he says this: I haven't made it through all 394 of your episodes yet, so I apologize. if
Keep
you already-
working. That's all right.
Yeah,
Keep working.
it's okay. Yeah.
Don't make it through. Only like 25% of them are any good.
Good choice. Yes.
All right, for your son's
Yes.
sake, stick with the Marvel
Yes.
ones,
Yes.
if you want.
So he has a couple points about that, and he apologizes if we already made it right.
No.
That's all good.
So the first thing he says is this: I haven't been to Universal Studios in LA for over 30 years, but I've been to the location in Osaka, Japan, which is I want to go there.
Oh, Japan, I would love to see.
We need to do a podcast trip eventually to Japan. We got a lot of stuff to do.
Jeez, I gotta sell.
I know. I got to save up.
I gotta sell feet, kidneys, all kind of
So
stuff.
Lee, start
We need a
planning.
lot of Patreons, please.
Give it, yeah, yeah. And he says the Universal in Osaka has the biggest Potter World, and they have some pretty sweet, exclusive, cool Japan attractions like Sailor Moon, Evangeline, Godzilla, Attack on Titan.
Get out
So
of
like
here.
you flying like mechs and stuff, and
Was
like
that? I-
like Evangeline is like a big mech like Robotech but slimmer.
Is that a bread?
But it's an attraction, so I don't know. I'd have to look it
You're
up.
not flying in the bread attraction on this one.
Evangeline
but
bread?
Evangeline is a mech. It's a cartoon about
okay.
mech like Robotech and stuff.
But he also says the Jaws and Jurassic Park attractions there are loads of fun.
How did he get to Japan? That's what I would like to ask.
Oh, well,
him.
the
Probably
Jaws
a-
one, that would be the original Jaws one, right?
I would assume
from
so, yes.
Universal Studios. Well,
Yeah.
not the original one from Hollywood, but yeah. No, I rode that when it was at Universal Studios, and it was a blast.
It was, yeah. No,
That's awesome.
I'd love to do that again.
Yes.
Okay.
Just go to Japan.
100%.
Yeah, so if any of you are interested, yes.
Yeah.
I'd highly recommend it, he says. So,
highly
yes.
highly accepted.
Totally interested because we've all said a million times on the show, if we're going to do a podcast trip outside of the States, it's Japan.
It's got to be Japan number one.
100%.
It got to be Japan. And his next bullet point kind of seals this for me. So check this out. He says Tokyo Disney Sea, which I always say is one of I
High
got to see this
regards.
before I die.
High
He says
regard, yes.
Tokyo Disney Sea is by far my favorite Disney park. Parentheses, I haven't been to Hong Kong or Paris yet. Okay, it's okay.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've traveled and seen Disney in other parts of the continent, correct?
I
sir?
saw it in Paris. That's the only, I can claim seeing it in Paris, but that's about it.
So do you say, hey, that's a good choice, or Jabbo, chill out
Paris
for a bit?
it's nice. It's a beautiful castle. It's not as big as it looks in photos and whatnot. And seeing the dragon in the castle is definitely an allure that you just enjoy whenever you go there. But I mean, I'll be honest with you. Tokyo Disney Seas has always been my thing. I want to go to Tokyo. I absolutely 100%. If you gun ahead, if you're like, where are you going to go? I mean, we went to Europe. Disney became a side trip, and our trek through Europe. So we only spent like 8 hours there.
I think that'd be a good conversation because Downs on the Grounds just came back from there. and y'all could talk about y'all's experiences at Disneyland Paris.
Oh, we
and
need
compare
to
it, yeah.
because I mean he got some negative reviews on YouTube. You saw that?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I was kind of like, wow, that's
We must defend our own again.
I don't know. Like I don't know what the fairness of the comments were. We'll have to talk to Steven.
Yes.
All right, well, we on Jumbo right now. So,
Yeah, we on Jumbo,
So
yeah.
Jumbo,
Jonbo.
take your time. Stick with Japan.
Yeah. So he says that he recommends it. We all check it out. Plus, he says a 3-day pass was only about $180. And they have a junior price, which is between child and adult, which makes it a bit more affordable for parents with teenagers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So pricing, that's pretty good, I think. $60 a day for a 3-day pass. And he ends this thing. Look forward to hearing more from you. Much love, peace, and blessings. And this dude also works in a department of music.
So he's your
He's
guy.
a musician. So that's
right up your
sealed,
alley,
yeah, that
Jeff.
sealed it for me. I was like, I saw his signature. I'm like, oh, I like this dude so much.
That's fate.
He's a guy.
Right there.
He recommended Jollibee, and he loves Tokyo Disney Sea. I'm like, I'm a fan.
So
I'm a fan of you, John Bo.
That's right.
That's right. I
That's
haven't
it.
even met you,
100%. Yeah.
but thanks to Eli,
Yeah.
you made a connection.
You have a beautiful family, and your son's awesome. Count America fan, can't hit on that. So look, Jumbo, keep listening and keep throwing it in there. We're gonna keep making you guys happy. That's what a person does, and that's what Magic Our Way is about.
So those are all the positive comments and stuff that came out of y'all's Disneyland trip report. So
I like that.
I wanted to highlight and say it because I know the type of experience you guys had. And so there was some good that came out of it for
I
sure.
think that's why we survived near death on the freeway and model, so we could hear this guest services section right here.
That's
It
right.
reaches my heart.
I feel good.
And I think
right
y'all
now.
might have made up for a little bit of it on this 50th anniversary Walt Disney World trip.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, just a little bit. It wasn't a lot,
little bit.
but a little bit.
Yeah,
You got a little something, something.
You know what? Sometimes things happen to you and they're negative, and then things change so that you can feel something positive again. It's just a revolving cycle.
So let's get to it, guys. Look, thank you for writing in. And man, if you share your opinions with us, shoot us an email, show@magicourway.com, or send us comments and stuff on Facebook, man. We'll respond to anything. Leave comments anywhere that you see our podcast, and we'll make sure we jump on it and say, hey, thanks for writing.
That's right.
We
Keep that
appreciate you
cap
taking
back.
that time.
Keep that kind of
So let's get to our trip report. And here we are on the Hub, our main topic segment of the show. And for this Hub, we are talking about our trip down to Walt Disney World for their 50th anniversary back, give or take a few days, in and around October 1st, 2021. And just to start off, to give you an idea, I'm going to give you this very high-level overview of our timeline of our trip, so you can kind of get an idea of what time of year, what everything was going on.
High level.
High level. So this is very high level. We'll go into details in just a second. But we arrived Wednesday evening, and we stayed at DoubleTree Suites Hotel, Hilton Orlando, which is in the Hotel Plaza area. And then Thursday through Sunday, so this is the Wednesday before the anniversary, and then Thursday through Sunday surrounding the anniversary, we stayed at Disney Riviera Resort, and we left Monday evening. So that's basically our timeline. That's what we went Wednesday to basically Monday evening. Monday evening, Tuesday morning, kind of somewhere in there.
And the Riviera came in when again?
The Riviera came in on Thursday, so the day before the anniversary.
So one day off grounds, and the rest of the time was on grounds.
I guess it's
Wasn't even a day.
adjacent grounds.
Wasn't even a day.
Yeah, it wasn't even a day. We was just there. We'll talk about that hotel because that was a pleasant surprise. But yeah, that's the kind of timeline we're dealing with. So as we're talking about this stuff, we'll give you, remind you guys, that way you can kind of get an idea. And before we delve into these things, I figured we should talk about how this trip came about, because this wasn't originally planned as a Walt Disney World podcast trip. Lee, you want to kind of give us a story of how this all came to be?
Yeah, so once the announcement came out of, all the stuff that was going to be going on with the 50th and this, that, and the other, a bunch of travel agents said, hey, you know what? Who wants to go down for the 50th? Who's going to be there? Who's planning on being there? Who wants to hang out? Blah, 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 blah. So, all those travel agents started, checking out rooms and, trying to find a roommate and stuff like that, which is always a little bit of a challenge for me and some of the other guys, because there's a lot of females travel agents. There's not as many male travel agents. So anytime there's any kind of a fam or a get-together, us guys got to try to, find a roommate, because, there's only, 5 or 6 of us guys in the whole agency. You know what I mean?
So, Lee, we're talking about your travel agency.
Yes,
Has
Magical Moments Vacations.
A great ratio for Eli, so I think you should become a Magical Moments Vacation travel agent.
I should be a travel agent?
Well,
You
apparently,
heard that
it's
ratio?
like-
Yeah.
I would say no, because apparently male travel agents can't stay anywhere near female travel agents at the.
They're separated.
Yes, it's very segregated.
I mean, I
it
guess you
sounds like.
could, but most women are not going to want to, room up with some strange dude that they'd never met before. You know what I mean?
Well, we
Even if
all
they
work
work
in
for
the
the
same
same-
place.
Yeah, they work for the same place.
Yeah, but either way, so we started out.
You just gloss over that.
Well, yeah, like, can you tell us a little bit about the human resources complaints about the dudes that travel with these females? That
What if it's her consent? What if she needs to have that person's expertise in that area to figure out stuff with the trip?
I guess if you want to do that, most females are not willing to room with a male person in their room, especially someone they've never met before. So
that sounds very stereotypical, man.
I
I don't think that's how most females think.
okay, well we'll ask them. I'll try to room up with a female next time and see how that goes.
You should do that. You should do that.
See how that goes in your own household before offering it to others.
And somewhere, Mrs. Lastovica is taking notes. for
Yeah.
This like the
future
vegan don't go to
events.
Disney.
She's loading the shotgun.
I don't think she listens to the show. So you
She
better-
don't even listen to the show, so there you go.
All right.
Please
So
do.
anyway, so we said, all right, let me try to find someone to hang out with. So if you remember from the time I went back in April, one of my roommates was Clay. So we were going to room together, along with a gentleman named Kevin, who I have not met yet, but he is another travel agent in the group.
Not me.
Not
Thank
this
you
Kevin,
for
different
clarifying
Kevin.
that really quick.
Yeah, just in case you're
Thank you.
wondering.
Different Kevin.
because you're not a travel agent.
That's right. So this is months ago. So we start, making our plans, trying to get everything together. And Kevin, travel agent Kevin, finds out he can't go. He's got a prior commitment or something came up, what have you. So at that point,
He got a lawsuit slapped against him from Magical Moments Vacation for molesting other female travel agents, right?
I don't know if that's what
Because
happened, but
apparently a lot of that is going
It's
on at
going
your
on.
travel agency.
Oh man, magical molestation.
so Kevin's out. Travel agent Kevin is out.
TA Kevin's out.
So man,
And he's knocking door to door right now, like, hi, I'm a travel agent. I live right up the block. And,
Hi, this is my card. It
I
just
just
says.
moved in the neighborhood and
come and knock on our door.
I promise you, all I do is book.
I got kicked out the room. I'm a travel agent for her and him.
we have no knowledge that Kevin did anything of the sort, but this whole story sounds a little weird. So Kevin couldn't go because something
Kevin
happened.
couldn't go. Don't know why.
He backed out. Yeah.
Don't know why. Have no idea why.
Could be
No,
finances. Not sure. All right, so I call our Kevin.
Kevin here,
Well,
Kevin over here.
Yeah, Kevin. I call Q.
There you go.
Wait.
Wait, well,
Bull, I'm calling bull on that story.
Why you calling bull, boy?
Because Lee just told a lie.
yeah, no, I was about to
Oh,
correct them and say that you actually sent a text to me and Danny.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
Ah, that's right.
Yes.
I didn't get a text.
So
Where my text? Where
You got
my
no text.
I got no text.
You got no text.
Why I didn't get a text?
No text for you?
You got
I'm a
no text.
personal
No text for
person.
you.
Why I get a text?
Because apparently you would have brought the sexiness of the room to a higher plane that they couldn't
Yeah.
have dealt
He's
with.
heard the stories about your sleep apnea.
Yeah. Oh. Can I tell you something? When he's on a machine, like, and being in a room with him, a dream. Then no
you
problem.
hear deer
Yeah,
chirping and birds chirping. And
No, the only thing
leaves
is he leaves the TV on too loud. But as long as you can access the remote, you're good.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, you don't get the remote from me because I will stay up later than you.
Yo, he will. But if you wake up in the middle of the night and the TV's blaring, which it will be,
Yeah,
and
it
he's
will.
asleep,
That's why.
you just got to dig around for the remote around his area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you would get along with my wife. She does the same thing. Like I'm like, can you just turn the TV up? Oh man. But she's like up till 3 a.m. watching TV.
No, he's spooning. He spoons with the remote.
Yeah, I'm used to that. I
You gotta
watch TV.
gently
'cause
take it out.
Yeah,
I make sure nothing happens to you past the hours of midnight to 3 in the morning, so you're safe
Yes.
with me.
Yeah. So
So you sent a text to both me and Danny.
yeah, that's right.
exactly
That's
what
okay,
happened.
we gotta.
Yeah, you sent a
open
text to
those.
both me and Danny, and I think Danny was the first one. I think you might have responded
I
first.
said
that you couldn't.
there's no
Yeah.
way I can go to Disney after 2 years because of COVID. There's no way I can go to Disney after 2 years and not bring my family. I was like, I'm not agreeing to do that. I'd love to go, but especially for the 50th, but I can't go without my family for the first time, and it was close to 2
Yeah,
years.
you
at that point.
physically would not be here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and I shouldn't. I mean, I got an 11-year-old.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you would not.
True that.
be
True
here.
that.
Yeah, and then so I guess at some point I decided to respond because I knew I had a trip booked in August through Lee and stuff. So I knew we're doing that, and we're planning a different trip in the future. So I didn't feel as bad for not doing that. So I decided, it was a great way for Magic Our Way to get involved in this, to be there and have some kind of a presence, because I know everybody's going to be there for that. So we should do that because it only happens once in a lifetime. And so that's when I committed, I guess. I jumped on it.
I didn't even think about it from that perspective, by the way. I never even thought about it like, yeah, Magic Our Way should have a presence there for the 50th. I just thought about it like, I can't take my family away from, I can't go without my family. But y'all already had a family trip.
Yeah, we already had a trip. Yeah.
Booked, and we had nothing at that point, which is kind of weird that we've already had a trip like before y'all did. That's how much of a spur of the moment Disneyland trip that was.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cool. All right, so Kevin's in at this point.
This was probably, June or something like that?
Something.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay.
About right. Because I think, again, Danny, you guys hadn't planned your Disneyland trip yet. You were just like, oh, well, that'll be cool. Have fun. So it's me, new Kevin, and Clay. So it's three of us. All right. So I'm like, all right, cool, man. So at this point, I started looking for travel agent rates. I actually get a travel agent rate at the Riviera. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's not too bad. Split between three guys. It'll be, not too shabby. It won't be cheap, but it won't be too bad. So you do the whole planning process. Hey, I'm making dining reservations. We're doing this, blah, blah, blah. What do you guys want to do?
Didn't you also book something at All-Star, too? Didn't you have, 2 reservations?
That was the original. That was when I first heard about it. I grabbed something at All-Stars because I knew it'd be the cheapest thing, but I couldn't get a travel agent rate. It was just rack rate.
So at this point, you got 2 sets of reservations going, right?
Because
yeah,
that was another one of the like you, me, and another dude that I don't know in the All Stars. Yeah, no, that doesn't sound like fun. Trust me, it was not presented as if you go, you'll be staying in the Riviera.
You could be the dude laying by a dude that's laying by another dude
in the Riviera.
Yeah, I don't even know if when I grabbed that All Stars, it was just me going. Like I was like, I'll figure it out later, but I need to get something because I need to make park day reservations, because at that point you couldn't even get into Magic Kingdom. It was booked up. So my plan was just go somewhere in the morning and then hop over to Magic Kingdom, hopefully at 2:00. But again, I just needed to get anything on the book so that I could make park day reservations before stuff started selling out more. And so, in fact, when Kevin got on, we couldn't get that Magic Kingdom, if I remember right.
That's correct. Yeah, initially you couldn't get it, but you kept telling me to check back because it kept expanding the numbers that were allowing in. And eventually, I guess, I don't know if it was 1 or 2 weeks later, but I was able to get in. So I was able to line up all my reservations to match what you already had established. So that worked out perfectly.
And so at this point now we've got, again, Clay, me, Kevin. We've got the Riviera, but no one has their tickets yet, or at least Clay didn't have tickets yet. And I don't even know if I had my tickets yet, but either way, I was still using the old reservation for my tickets for my park reservations. I didn't want to get rid of that until I had my tickets attached to my Riviera reservation, because then I would lose my park day reservations. That's clear as mud, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I didn't get my tickets till August, so that that's
right, exactly. So we didn't want to get rid of that All-Star reservation because we might lose our park day reservations. So until we got everyone's tickets in, we had to keep the All-Stars. So now we're about 2 weeks in, 2 weeks away from this thing. And Clay is like, hey, man, I didn't get my commission from Universal. I'm going to be a little late on it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool, man, no problem. I just went ahead and paid it myself. He can pay me back, so on and so forth. Then a couple of days later, he's like, hey, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go. My wife got COVID, and I got to get tested.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh, snap. So I'm like, Kirk, what you doing, man?
I like how you were really cool as you said that.
Yeah, he didn't even talk about you or me or nothing. He just went right for Kirk. Went hey, Danny, Eli.
I got shafted twice. And
you did.
I ain't even Samuel L. Jackson.
So now you know where you rank on the Lee Pyramid.
I'm personable to everythody else that's a fan, but
no, bottom of the Lee Pyramid.
Very, very bottom. I don't.
I like that. I'm so high up on the food chain.
Well, God bless
pretty
you.
Good.
You don't make fun of him near as much as we do.
Hey,
that's
that would
fair.
be true.
That's
that would
fair.
be true.
Yeah. No, but I really do. I mean, I believe, if I remember the timeline right, at that point, you guys, because it was 2 weeks before. So, yeah, you guys already had your trip booked and everything at that point.
Yeah,
so what, we're too poor to be able to afford to do both?
I was going to say it would have been nice to have had
Been
the
asked?
invitation
Yeah,
as
it would have been nice to
as
be
a part of
Thank you.
as a part of the group that we are. I mean, like, you know, I've seen your tennis shoe collection. You know, we I'm just saying, like, I
You're feeling hurt right now.
kind of
just assume that we would have no interest in going.
Can we pause this? I gotta walk outside for a bit. I don't feel like I belong right now. I'm gonna move the microphone away.
Look what you did. You hurt Eli's feelings.
He's crying.
I'm personable, but I'm a human.
He's so personable.
Just
touchy.
keep going.
That little teddy bear. You hurt a teddy bear.
Where the Filipino?
Blood on the
I'm glad he
saddle.
admitted that he went right to Kirk, because I was like, we're going to have to correct him or something. No, he's like, no, screw them, dude. I went right to Kirk. I was like, the hell with Danny and Eli.
You know, I mean, we did a trip report. I gave you money to my hard-earned money. I fought through a storm 24 hours straight. I didn't go home, and I gave you that money.
Kirk lost his shed, so
I
maybe
need
that's
a
what it was. I don't know.
Well, I will say that was part of the conversation, Kirk. You didn't know, you were not privy to this, but we all did feel like, man, if anyone needs a break, it's Kirk Landry. If anyone needs to get away from the craziness, Kirk Landry deserves a nice vacation.
That was a big part of making my decision. It's like, you know what? I need to get away from this place for a little while.
I agree. And we all 100% backed the decision. It was just been nice to be consulted.
As a matter of fact, when you called me for the first time, I was outside in my backyard. And when you said those words, I turned around and looked at my barn, lying on the ground. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I could tell you yes. But let me get back.
I don't like your wife was like, what? This needs fixing. Like, yeah.
I said, let me just check what I said, but I'm pretty sure, this
He's
will
like,
be yes.
Disney doesn't have barns on the ground.
Yeah.
Barns on the ground, looking like a
Barns
fool.
on the
My barns on the ground.
What you gonna do with the balls on the ground?
Yep.
You're like, you know what? I can get away from this for a bit. Come back, a whole new man. I hear you.
A whole new Kirk.
But we still were in suspension, though, because I said I had to check with Kirk to see if it was even a possibility that he would be able to go. We still had to wait to hear back from Clay. And unfortunately, he also tested positive for COVID. So,
Wow.
I'm sorry. Don't I remember you saying, like, please let Clay test positive for COVID? Please let God, please let Clay.
baby Jesus, Lord,
Because
Lord.
I'd really rather go with Kirk than with Clay.
Oh, Lord, let me have Kirk, please.
Clay hogs the covers, and he doesn't,
He doesn't understand me like Kirk does.
No.
Lord.
Kirk cuddles.
Kirk steals the pillows, but he doesn't.
And he jumps
cry,
on beds.
Lord.
I'll be whatever spoon you need me to be.
Get all the spoons, Kirk. You get all the spoons, baby.
He plays the spoons.
That's what
Meanwhile, I
thought
still didn't
remember.
know about this. And like, man, you know what?
I didn't know either.
Why am I do the tagline for your advertisement. No love. Okay. Kirk, God bless you, buddy.
With no Eli Avika.
No, Eli's doing my advertisement of Vika. It's a cold world. All right.
So Kirk's officially in, is what you're saying.
Kirk's a man.
Kirk's officially
Kirk's
in.
a man.
So then it became a podcast trip.
You get the belt. You the belt. You got the belt.
It officially became a podcast trip, switched over from a travel agent trip.
Whoa, time out. How did it officially become a podcast trip when you're leaving half of us behind? We didn't know it was officially a podcast trip.
These are great questions he's asking.
I did not know. Like,
Did you know? Because I never know anything
You know when
on
I
this
knew?
part.
You know when I knew it was an official podcast trip? When we were recording our trip report, and me, you, and Kevin went out for dinner, and Kevin's like, "We're going to talk to this person. We're going to do this. We're going to do this." And I was like, "Oh shoot, this is like a trip report kind of podcast. It's like a podcast trip." And he's like, "Yeah, y'all should have been like." And Kevin, to his credit,
yes,
did say, "Hey, we could probably get y'all a room to lead it."
Well, that's the thing. This actually works. So this kind of leads into the next thing I was going to talk about, because I remember at that dinner, I was like, I think Lee still has that All-Stars
Yes,
room.
you did
And
say
I bet
that.
you I know there's 2 beds, so I'm sure we could,
we can make that work.
yeah, because everything else was booked up. I don't know.
And I went like,
Yeah, so that's why I texted you, like, Lee, you still got that all-star room? And I know, I could tell that Danny's mind was kind of turning. I was like, because I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, these guys could really, after the trip report, they could really.
Yeah, like a duel.
Because they were telling me, I didn't get the full story, but I got a little taste of it while we're at dinner. And I'm like, man, these guys could come out with us. I wish they could come out.
yeah. Eli looked at me and said, "Look, D, I'll come with you for moral support."
Oh, right. But you're going to be fired or something like that, right?
But yeah, it's like, I got no cash. I'm going to get fired.
I got to tell my boss I got to leave again.
So he made it sound like, look, I'm not going without Eli. So like that's when I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. We're just gonna stay.
Yeah, it was just we had just did that last adventure.
Right. And then Lee texted
yeah.
back and it said, yeah, he gave up the room already. So it's like, oh well, shoot.
So that's what it's like to have friends that actually care about your opinion for going on a trip. I'm done. I don't know what to say. I'm still hurt. on the inside.
But let's transition
Go
to that,
ahead,
right?
Well, you know what? Your hurt has a happy ending now, doesn't it?
It does.
it
Yes,
always
that's right.
does.
But let me say one thing. For those first few days, I always end the day by saying, I wish they were here.
Yeah. No doubt.
This feels wrong without them here.
And you were the only one, weren't you?
Probably wasn't like, man, we talking about
Nope.
screw them dudes.
They echoed my thoughts.
No.
No, like we were at Topolino's and said, man, you know what? If Danny was here right now, he would probably order these scalps.
Wow, he literally said his sentence without me in it.
Dang. There was scalps.
The scallop, Daddy, that's all you.
When I got an icy headache, a brain freeze, I said, oh, Eli would really like this icy
Oh,
Coke
just
from
jam
Hollywood
that
City.
knife in. Just jam it in.
I got a headache, Eli.
When they were at Space 220, they were like, oh, I see Danny and Eli floating around out there.
I hope they turn blue from no
But
oxygen.
you see, when I was at the lounge at a resort getting a drink, and I say, look, what's your name? I got my boy Eli like to hit you up.
Oh, you don't know.
He'll be here soon.
Yeah, you know what? When we were at the restaurant when Kevin first pitched it, and look, and honestly, yes, I was like, we just did the California trip that took everything I had. Yeah, I was trying to back on the waiter. Like, go ahead, talk to me. I try to leave.
Oh,
my
it's
phone
true.
number.
Yeah, we're trying to switch you up.
I was trying to find the happiness again. That's how much that trip had me desiring to see that bright sun coming out again. So absolutely. So that's cool.
I was hoping you still had the All-Star room, but I can understand you had to get rid of it because it was a book.
But I get it.
That would have been pretty killer.
Up in the hierarchy, you two are the co-hosts, and look, Kirk, you definitely deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. So I understand. I will, if I have to tip my hat to any person, so it would be you.
To be fair, the listeners don't care about our loneliness. They care about what Disney was like during the film. Why
That's
not
true.
Exactly.
tell them?
Tell them what it was like.
We'll enter in at a later date.
But we can give like what happened, just so we know that eventually became all of us here. So we had that dinner. We talked about the All-Stars. Didn't have the room. So at some point, I guess y'all figured out a way to get down there. I mean, and this is no
Y'all want
surprise.
to talk about this now?
Yeah, we could talk
Don't
about
you
this
want
now,
to talk
'cause
about
it's-
what happened before that, though?
No, not really, because this is all part of the timeline and how it all came to be,
Oh,
and how we're all involved. I believe.
okay. I'll tell you exactly what
Yeah,
happened.
go ahead. This is all you.
Oh, wow.
This is easy.
I didn't expect to talk about this so
I'm gonna
quickly.
finish this thing of water while he tells
Well,
me.
I bring this up now because it's like if you follow us on social media, you know what happened. It was spread everywhere. You follow us at all. You're familiar with us. You know that they came down and surprised us.
Yes.
It's like the best wrestling action ever.
So I'm curious to know. But while we were down there doing stuff, I'm curious to know what was going on to arrive at when the whole surprise thing happened. So
I'll tell you exactly what was happening. So I was pulling all the Halloween stuff out of the attic to decorate for Halloween.
which you can see behind you a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can see behind me. There's a ghoul right behind me. A few Halloween masks and whatnot. But yeah, we were decorating for Halloween. And my wife would occasionally come to me and like, do you see what these guys are posting on social media? Why aren't y'all there? Why? This is a podcast trip. Why are you not there? I was like, well, baby, it wasn't really presented to us as a podcast trip, but it just kind of started as a Lee trip. And then Kevin went and then Kirk went. And She's like, yeah, but y'all should be there. And that conversation happened like 3 to 4 times. And I was like, my wife was like, did you see what they just posted? I can't even follow it along. It keeps freezing up. Y'all should be there. Why are y'all making this more interesting? And so finally, my wife, what was it? Saturday,
absolutely Saturday.
It was like a Saturday. Finally said, you know what? The hell with this. Why don't y'all go over there and meet up with them? And I'm like, baby, look, there's just too many things going on. We just went to Disney. Bottom line is that Eli is not going to be able to get off. We're not going to be able to do this. We're not going to be. There's no way we'll get a room. I mean, it's the 50th anniversary.
It can't happen.
She's like, no. Like, you know, and she started looking it up, and she looked up airfare, and she was looking. She's like, y'all can get on this day at this time, and I can put y'all at this hotel. And I was like, all right, I'll reach out to Eli, knowing that there's no way Eli's going to be able to get off.
Just a shot in the dark. You threw a dart at the target and see what happens.
I was using Eli to say no.
Yeah, I'm the.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
the no. Like for the record, I'm the end. I'll be like, look, if the Lawlesses want to go on a trip, they will go on a trip, and you know, if they're like, hey, look, we just want that element of surprise, then you know, they say, hey, what do you think? But yeah, in this particular case, I mean, that was a lot on the line right there. And he was like, hey, look, if you want us both to go, he was right, because I don't have to adhere to anybody. But he was like, this dude has to like chuck it out. He just did a vacation, and that was very fair for him to do. Typically, yes, that would have been no, because it was impossible. I just came back. I had posted my days I was to be off, so I did that for the California vacation.
It was all out of money.
I was all broke.
You're broke, yeah.
All broke. I had like my like when we came back, my house note was auto paid because that's where it all goes. And so yeah, at that time, when he called me, I was literally with my daughter helping her getting her tire fixed. So I was not having a good Saturday anyway.
So he called me back up and was like,
well, no, you didn't even tell him the call. The call was like, yeah, so this happened. And would you like to go again for a couple of days? And I was like,
because Anna says these guys suck.
Yeah.
It's
He's
basically what it came out to.
And this is not fun.
They're not representing Magic Our Way very well. Yeah, they're not being funny. They're not getting on there. They're not doing your typical Magic Our Way stuff.
Where's the stick? Where's the love?
Yeah, where is the Magic Our Way humor that I'm accustomed to hearing?
Where's the action?
And when did this become a podcast trip, and why weren't you guys invited? And we were like, well, we didn't know it was a podcast trip. It was a Lee trip.
It evolved, yeah.
And then it became a Lee and Kevin trip, and at the very last minute, it became a Lee, Kevin, and Kirk trip. We were never invited until like after we got back, and it was just by Kevin, and it was like, well, we already spent enough money, and it was basically my wife saying, y'all should be there.
It was pretty much the Hail Mary of trips.
It was.
Big time.
It literally was.
Because if this was Saturday, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, because he called me. He's like, look, can you do this? And I'm like, I got to talk to my boss. And it's a Saturday. I mean, he's like, all right, well, do what you got to do. I was like, look, and we already heard our trip report. I was like, this was tough, but this is a chance.
This is how you pitched it to your boss? This is how you...
No.
Okay.
Danny called me and he told me that, and I said, look, let me call you back. I got to help my child, my daughter.
Oh, the tire change and stuff.
Yeah, a flat tire, and, I didn't want nothing to hurt. If you have a daughter that's in the 20s, trust me, you'll know there's a lot of emotion and stuff that go with that. So I was doing my dad day. So I did my dad day. She was good. And then I was like, I remember... we're in the apartment. I said, I'm going to call Dad. She said, what's going on? I said, I might go on a trip again. I don't know. It was like Rambo 2. It was like, I might go again. She's like, you don't dare do that. She's like, I hate you. I'm like, that's okay. I fixed your tie. You leave me alone. This is why you get the good stuff. So I talked to him, and I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, are you like, because like, as a friend, you don't, when he explains the situation.
Because he was broke, and I
was dead broke.
Dead broke. We had Disney points.
Yeah, I don't
still
lie.
left over even after the last trip.
Right.
Yeah.
We still had Disney points, and I was like, we got you. We can take you up.
Yeah.
We can take care of you up until X amount.
Yes, I told him I am completely transparent. I have pride, but when it comes to a trip like this, and what was at stake for the show, I was like, look, dude, this is I was like, look, I was like, actually, it was like I broke it down. I'm on the edge. I ain't got nothing. I'm living out the car. I was like, this is everything. If you say no, it's okay, no problem. He's like, we can do it. If you can figure out a way to come back in action and talk to your boss, it's on. That's all he had to tell me.
So you dangled a turkey leg, so to speak.
He's like, I'm in 100%. So I had to be like, all right.
There goes my no.
And you ever saw Harlem Nights when the dude answers the phone? He's like, yeah, honey, I'm never coming back.
Yeah.
It was like, I called my boss and hey, I'm sorry to tell you this. I gotta take care of something. It's happening right now. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm gone. I'm not coming back. And he was like, okay. Like, it was that simple. I didn't tell him what I was doing. I didn't let him know what I was doing. Doesn't even matter. He don't listen to the show. But I was like, I'm going. If I'm needed, I will be there.
Having said all that, so Eli's the one who kind of gave us the heads up that, yeah, this will be totally cool. I want to do this. We knew that it wouldn't be as fun if we didn't surprise you guys. We had to figure out a way to sneak up on you guys and surprise you.
This is all your genius, sir.
So
this is all
what I'm
your
hearing
genius.
is you couldn't use your regular travel
we could
assistance,
not use our regular
or
travel
else it would have
assistant to do this.
divulged everything.
I mean,
So-
it's the time of Halloween. What is the fun of not doing a stalk?
Got to do the stock. Got to do the Michael
Have
Myers
to do the
stock. 100% the stock. And so we reached out because we know a few travel agents, but there was only one travel agent that I trusted.
Only one, just one.
Just one. And you and I talked about this. I was steadfast.
You asked me. You said
you were like, well, what about that? And I'm like, no,
there's one.
One person could take care of this.
We had to consent. I'm like, go for it. You're right.
It was Rachel Roberge with Wishful Wanderings Travel. Hooked us up to a degree beyond what we could have ever
above and beyond. It sounds like yes.
She thought of things like, because we were trying to surprise y'all, and there were things like in keeping our plans separate from you guys, so that way you like, because we were all friends, so we could all see each other's plans. Right. So she figured out a way to make sure that y'all guys could not see when we were coming up, when we were, where we were staying, any of that. She figured out a way to hide all that.
We could have seen y'all had a reservation at, not a reservation, but a park day reservation at Hollywood Studios for so-and-so day. If we would have looked, we would say like, wait a minute, why is Danny got a reservation for
Poly?
Saturday or
who's
whatever?
at the Poly? What's going on?
Right. And at that point in time, I'm not even thinking about that because I'm like, well, we're just trying to figure out a way to get up there, pack, do all this kind of stuff. And she just figured out everything for us. And I knew she was the right person to go ahead and do it. So anyway.
She's a fellow Mohican. She's a long time Mohican. And
100%.
Yeah, she's 100%. Asked Lee questions and stuff. So she knows
pre-travel agent Mohican.
Yes.
She was in it before she was a travel agent. Who I keep trying to get to come to our agency because she would do really well with us and have a good time. I'm just
you know what? I don't know, man. Like she's doing pretty good with Wishful Wandering Travel because she has a podcast, like Wishful Thinking.
Trip planning podcast.
And another travel agent over there. They're doing their own podcast.
I subscribe. I apologize.
And 100%, she knows her stuff. So if you ever go to book a vacation with the Magic RA podcast and you can't get in touch with Lee Lastavica, 100% contact Rachel Roberge because she took care of us. She knew exactly what we're trying to accomplish, which was keep the trip hidden from Lee, Kevin, and Kirk. Make sure we get there. Make sure that we've got, and she took care of it all within less than. And Lee knows this experience. Lee's been on the other end of that phone call before. We're like, hey, we're going to Disney in less than 24 hours. Book this shit.
Go.
Rachel did it.
And to be fair to her as well, I mean, like, we talking like we read to the airport. There was stuff that she was throwing out. And I mean, like, the airport part really quick, and then we'll get right to the meat. The airport for both of us was hectic because he was talking to Rachel. I still had to deal with the thing with my daughter with her tires. So it was like, you good? Because once that plane was happening, boom, we're out.
Yeah, and then we had to take a connecting flight, and that took a little bit. But I mean, we got there. And basically, we stalked y'all guys. Like, we cyber stalked you guys. Okay, I'll give you, 100% of the credit to Rachel on this one. Because we knew that when we were going up there was only one thing that we could do, that we could add to our trip report, which we're going to do in a minute, which was to ride Ratatouille. Remy's Adventure, whatever you want to call it.
The ride that just opened on October 1st.
Yes. We knew that was the one thing we wanted to do. And Rachel knew enough to be able to be like, look, here's what's going to happen. We literally booked it that night. And she was like... Saturday night.
Wow.
She's like, I'm going to get up at Sunday morning. I'm going to get on there at the same time you get on there. And we're going to book this. And I went to go book my virtual queue. And I got rejected. But my travel agent got on there before I got on there and already had my virtual queue reservation all hooked up.
Which is why you probably got rejected because she already booked one for you? Is that
she already booked it. Exactly, 100%. She already had it booked. And I was like, okay. She was like, you're going to be getting there at like 1 o'clock. I'm like, Rachel, we're not landing until like 2. And she's like, don't worry about it. They'll take you after 2. Just go ahead and get in line.
Hot tip.
Oh, that was funny.
Hot tip, 100%. She queued us in on something we had no. I was like, well, we missed out on the fast pass then because by the time we get there, it's going to. Nope. She said, go in line, scan it. And she was 100% right.
Totally.
We got in line. We scanned it. The woman like, why isn't this working? And she made a face like, oh. And then she scanned us in and let us go.
Because we had some lies prepared. We don't need to say what they all were.
Yes.
But
Eli and I The whole time we were in line, because it's a virtual queue, but it's still a queue that you wait in for 40 minutes.
We were there, yeah.
And we were like, what are our lies? So we got delayed because of this, and we got delayed because of that.
Kids
and
that was sick, and we had all
somebody
kind of
on the plane started screaming
murdered.
Yeah, exactly.
We were not.
And then our friend Kevin had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, we
Right.
were not going to be denied.
We were not going to be denied. We had a bunch of excuses, and the person scanned it. It went red. They looked at it. They saw something, which was probably that we had an earlier reservation, and they waved a little magic thingy, and we went on.
True magic.
And Rachel was right. We went right to the line.
Thank you, Rachel.
Even though we were 2.5 hours late. And by the way, like, we went to Epcot right away. As soon as we landed, as soon as we checked into the Polynesian, because that was the other thing. We stayed at the Polynesian. We were online. We stayed at the Polynesian. We went right over there.
We had some issues though checking in, but
We did. We had a little bit of
knocked
issues.
them out.
A little bit of issues, yeah. But we were right next door to the monorail.
Monorail, yeah.
Yeah,
right on
no,
monorail,
yeah. Once we did the
So it
walk,
made it efficient, yeah.
We were at the Ragnarok or whatever the.
yeah, we had to. You know what? Though we were almost like we were actually could have been extra late because there was one part where we were making sure we were on the right part. There were two girls that came up, and then they were like, "Oh, this I guess." And wait, how you doing? Like, I just want to talk to y'all about the vacation. And then like I was like, "Oh," Danny was like, "No, dude, we got to go. We're on the schedule." I totally forgot there was a schedule. I fell back in love with Disney. Yeah, that's what I'm sticking with.
No, anytime a girl would talk to him about Disney, he would say.
That was cute though, mind
But
you. Yeah.
we walked over, we got on the ticket and transportation line. We
Flew
right into Epcot.
right into action.
Rode Ratatouille, rode right over to Hollywood Studios. And we were trying to get you guys to divulge where y'all were.
Yes.
And that was a trick of it, is it
Very
trying to
tough.
get you guys to kind of say where y'all were. In an ideal world, what we wanted was for you guys to go live. Y'all guys to go, hey, this is Magic Our Way going live from Hollywood Studios, and y'all doing this, and we walk up on y'all as y'all were recording live. But y'all weren't recording live.
Yeah.
Y'all just were not recording in the parks that day. Whatever happened.
Well, I mean, we'll explain more later, but it had a lot to do with Disney's Wi-Fi, and so we had a lot of trouble. Which those that saw us on the actual October 1st, we ran into a lot of problems, and so did a lot of other people trying to broadcast live.
Well, and you say that, and most people are like, well, why didn't you go cellular? Even cellular would not
terrible.
work.
Yeah.
It would not
Terrible.
work consistently to be able to go ahead and get off what you wanted to do. So, I mean, 100% now that when we were there, because I remember seeing y'all's earlier videos and being like, this keeps freezing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was torture.
Like, why don't these guys switch to cellular? Why are they going on Disney Wi-Fi and then being in the parks and being like, oh, that's why?
Oh, it was terrible. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to Genie Plus. Let me just tell you, like, it's gonna be great.
on the biggest day of the year for like fandom and stuff, and it's like the fans that are there that do things can't really post anything because of any kind of internet connection was just sad. It was rough. It was tough. I couldn't do what I normally do, which is like, I like to go live in the parks when I'm there and just kind of just do this running monologue, and just kind of just chat what's going on. But that was a challenge. But anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, so they couldn't use that to help track us down.
So we went to Ratatouille. We went and rode that. Then we went into the Ratatouille gift shop. And then we boarded the Skyway.
Yeah, but we don't drink beer before you leave to go to Skyway.
Because they're like, we're walking out of there. We both stopped in England to get beer. And because we needed a drink at that point in time. They're like, you need to finish up before we leave the park. And I remember I told you, I was like, why do we need to, I understand if you need to, we're in the park. I understand if you need to finish up before you get in the park. But why do you need to finish it when you're leaving the park?
Yeah, because we're not driving the Skyline.
Right. It's like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, those some weird rules that we don't have in New Orleans.
Right.
That seems like that would be like, hey, that's the designated driver right there.
I think it's the same thing where it's like a reason why we have to-go cups and they don't. Like, you can't leave a bar in Florida, I think, without finishing your drinks. And then you can't take it in the streets, basically.
Oh, so you say that's the inherited law?
Yeah, I guess they just that's
Needless
what
to
they
say,
yeah. But anyway, that must have sucked because you probably had to guzzle.
No,
No,
not suck. No, Eli and I were desperately in need of a drink.
I was like,
1 to 2 gulps.
Yeah.
and it was gone.
It's like, so you asked me to shoot it. Not a problem. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, not a problem.
So while we were in the air, we started trying to fish for information. We're like, well, where do y'all guys at? What are y'all guys doing? Da, 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 da.
And yeah, let me just say, this whole time I'm getting these texts, I'm like, man, I really feel bad for these guys. They must be really bored at home. Like,
That's the exact same thing I
like
thought.
just so jealous that we're here. They're just stuck at home doing nothing, and like they're just living vicariously through us. Like, hey, what are y'all doing now? Ooh, that sounds fun. Where are you going next? Da 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 da. I'm like, man, I feel bad.
First
Can I
time,
tell you something? That's some major insecurity, though.
I like, it can't just
wow.
be we support you
Yeah,
as
it can't just be
other
like
having a podcast.
Exactly. Because I even preface it with saying, man, the Saints suck today. Man, we've got blown out and blah, blah, blah. So what are y'all up to?
That's what
we just lost to the Giants. And
when you said that, I figured Danny must have really been depressed by the Saints losing because he's actually caring about what we're doing. Like, okay.
Well, you know, I'll be honest. I bought into that because I knew the Saints lost, and I was very upset about that too. But I was like, I'm glad in Disney World. But,
Can I tell you, all three of y'all, selfish. All three of y'all.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, damn, I would have never been like, man, these guys must be really bored at home. I'd be like, man, these guys had a rough day, and they want to live through us. So
let them be happy.
Right. So we kept hitting them up. What are y'all up to? And bottom line is we could not get a straight answer because the Disney Wi-Fi was so bad. These guys were not replying to us in a timely fashion. And Eli and I were starving because we got on a plane at 8 a.m.
Yeah, it was very early.
Had a connecting flight.
Y'all were moving.
Got in at like 12. Went right into Epcot. Went right on the Ratatouille. And we're now hungry. And I just looked at Eli. I was like, all right, dude, we're gonna eat brown derby. What do you say? And Eli's like, dude, do it. We were able to get in a reservation for brown derby, and oh my God.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Brown derby, just every single time I'm like, man, that restaurant I've hit the heights of what it was. Like, it used to be the seared tuna ahi they did a tuna carpaccio.
Oh, that was so tender.
So tender, so good, so melted in your mouth. Oh my God. I used to say to Eli, if ever I'm on death row and I have a last choice of a meal, I want the tuna taki carpaccio from
the Brown Derby in Hollywood Studios.
Well, there used to be a place around here that did it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Screw that. I want it from the Brown Derby.
Fair enough.
That's how great it was.
Oh.
And he and I drank and we had fun and
we talked to some people the table.
Yes.
Let them know about the show too. We don't stop, baby.
talked to them about the phone jacks at the table. Like, do you realize that your booth has a phone jack?
Did you
know
notice?
why that's there? And did you notice? And then
Yeah.
the caricatures and everything like that. And man, just had a blast. And so finally they let us out, and we're like, okay, we got to meet up. We got to meet up with Kevin and Lee and Kirk. We got to figure out a way to do this. Now, fortunately for us,
the fates aligned.
the fates aligned. We had two things on our side. One, we had my wife who really, 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 really wanted to see this happen.
Very beautiful benefactor on that.
She was texting me.
That was
She went
major.
rogue. I never told her to text you.
She been rogue, baby.
I would have
she
told
been
her-
rogue for this trip, baby.
I would have told her, whatever you do, don't text any of these guys. Keep it 100% on the up and up. And she texted me. And she's like, I called Kevin. Why would you do that? You're giving us away. You're doing
that,
dude. You're totally giving away our position. She's like, no. I called Kevin and I said, I'm trying to get a present for Danny.
Oh, yeah. Let me do this part.
Like, that's brilliant.
Yeah. 'Cause I have the text right here, and I thought it was funny. She says, she called me. I didn't pick up.
Okay.
And I say, hi, Anna. Did you just try to call me? He's like, hey, sorry. I was wondering if you could pick up something for you from the Haunted Mansion for Danny. And then the next text, what are y'all doing? That was funny. Funny part was, I just was honest. I'm with y'all. I told her, it's like, well, yeah, sorry for not answering. I was on the toilet, but sure, yeah, we'll be back there tomorrow. I can pick up something for Danny. Kirk said, and I told her that Kirk found something he wanted to get him at Memento Mori, blah, 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 all kind of stuff. And then she responded, awesome, thanks. What are y'all doing now?
So she knew better than what we knew because I was like, no, Ixnay, don't text him that. But she had a good in order to get in touch with you guys. So she went with the whole, hey, pick up something for Danny kind of thing. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we're sitting at Hollywood Brown Derby. And so we finally get the text from you, because not only did she say it to us, but you said it to us because we were
A one man's dream, yeah.
that you were in there, and so we knew that Kirk and Lee were waiting for you to finish up, and then meet them in there.
Oh yeah, because remember I sent you a picture. You said, "Where's Kevin?" I was like, "I took a picture of the restroom."
100%. That's exactly what happened.
And yes, and we were like, we got him.
And
So was
then
that the second thing that you could count on?
Yes.
Okay.
We do.
100%. So
We do.
we went. So we when we got out of
Brown
Hollywood
Derby.
Brown Derby,
Yeah, because it was like move fast.
it was right over there, obviously. And so we walked right up to the cast room and we said, "What are the two exits from this place?" And he's like, they can go out of the front door. They can decide that they've looked at everything and walk right out of the front door, or they're going to be walking out of that back door right over there, which is where the show One Man's Dream.
Yeah, where the movie let out. Yeah.
Yes.
Which, just real quick, but funny thing about that is that we almost didn't watch the show. Not necessarily we didn't watch it, but it wasn't on the plan. We were just we were looking through there. I needed to find the desk for Walt, and I needed to find the clock. And so we were just doing that part, and then we're like, "You guys gonna watch the show?" I'm like, "You know what? I've never seen it. Let's do it." So it was kind of almost an afterthought to watch the show.
No,
But it didn't matter. It didn't matter because if y'all didn't watch the show, Eli had y'all staked out.
I did.
If y'all watched the show, I had y'all staked out.
You were.
We knew exactly
Oh,
where y'all
yeah.
were. We had both entrances and exits staked out. So Eli was poised at the entrance. I was poised at the exit.
Can I say this though? There was one point. I don't know if anybody know, but there's actually a third exit. Apparently, in the middle of the building.
I always look for that third exit.
Yeah, you never know when it's gonna pop up.
As
When
long
it
as,
does.
For that
as long
sideways
as
style.
it's consensual. I always look for that third
And
exit.
so there was a point. So look, let me put it like this. So there's a point where stop me if I'm getting ahead. But there were two lovely ladies that were in the areas where we were checking y'all out.
Why is
Right?
there always two ladies, by the way?
'Cause
never
it's me.
just one. It's always
'Cause it's
two
me.
lovely ladies.
You don't understand when you're a single
Ooh,
guy.
little lady lovers
The
over here.
ladies show up.
Ooh, little lady.
The
Little
two
ladies
ladies
over
show
here.
up, and they were out. Look, I'm telling you, they were sporting it. One of them was like a girl, and she had a ponytail. You know what? I digress.
Did you almost get distracted from your job?
Never?
with these two? Okay.
Because the job was more
He was
important.
a pro. He was an
Okay,
absolute
good.
This
pro.
was just icing on the cake, baby. That was just icing on the cake. I was like, I love this podcast right now. I love why I'm here and what I need to do after having a very awesome meal. That's all I'm saying. So there was two girls. The two girls were like, they must have talked and been like, these two guys are awesome, but we don't know what they're doing. And one of them must have been like, I'll go and scout somewhere else. And one of them was like, you know what?
I'm going to stay here.
I'm gonna stay here. This is
Let's
probably
see
the
what happens.
safest spot to be. I want to see what
And
these
she
about to do.
stayed there the entire time.
She
'Cause
stayed.
At any point in time, I'm like, you know what? Somebody's going to call security.
He totally
Because
did.
It's
He totally did.
obvious that we're staking out this exit looking for somebody.
Looking for people.
All right.
It couldn't have been any more obvious because two groups had gone in the time it took y'all to get out.
And to be fair, we had cast members that came by and they walked right past us. But here was the thing I was gonna throw out really quick. So like Danny and I was in constant communication, like, hey, you see him? I know. And then we had pictures of y'all. It was like, all right, he's wearing this, he's wearing this, he's wearing that.
And
And like
we had y'all. We knew what y'all were wearing from the day, so we knew
Yes.
what shirts to look for.
so sometimes like, hey, I saw a dude in a red shirt. No, never mind. That dude got a baby. That ain't him. That ain't him. So there was one point where he was staking off from the back. I was looking from the front, but there was a side exit that these people came out of, and I was like, oh no, we busted. But it wasn't. I was like, oh, so now I'm like,
You're watching two exits?
I'm like, yeah, I'm moving between, like where we were, there were pillars. So like, I was like, there was a third pillar, the first, but I was like, moving first. I was like, hold up. All right, good. Nobody came out that side. Dude, we good. Like, there was consistent communication. A lot of people think these guys must script stuff. These guys must write down what they do. And then, no, this is complete telepathy. Okay. And this is a total example of it. I was like, I saw this and I saw that. You good? You good? And this girl, whoever this other girl was, she must have been like, I want to see how this goes down because that girl went no, I should have got a number.
She stayed there and watched the entire thing.
Is she on video, or do you have footage of her anywhere? Or
No, because that would have
She
been
never
extra
even
creepy.
communicated with us, but she never left
She
us
never left.
She
the
wanted to see what
entire
happened.
time. And
She was our angel.
it couldn't have been any more obvious what we were up to. Because, like I said, at any point in time, like whenever a cast member would pass by, I'd be like, just to be sure, is that the exit to One Man's Dream right over there? Like, yes, sir, that's the exit.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we knew it. I knew exactly. I was watching the exit to One Man's Dream. He was watching the exit. If y'all guys decided, screw this, we're not watching the movie, we're going out the other way.
Hard. I had shades on just to look cool with my hey shirt, and I switched
Hey,
to
hey.
my glasses so I could see further.
And one cast member even said that the exit to Voyage of the Little Mermaid, which was the old attraction that used to be in that little theater, they're like, well, maybe they might go through here. I don't think so, but maybe that might and we're like, okay, like Eli, watch that. If anybody, but to be fair, no one ever came out of there. We saw people coming out of that exit. We saw people going out of the back exit.
We
which I
were
was
getting
watching.
sniper's fatigue. It was like, maybe we should quit. Like, no, this is it.
We were
Stay the
here
course,
20
stay
minutes.
the
We gotta
course.
be here. Stay. He's like, all right. He's like, I remember because it was like, you sure this is it? He's like, no, we got to stay another 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes. And it was like, we actually went past that point, and it was like, we're going to stay another 10 minutes.
We did because I mean I said to him like look, I looked up the time limit of the movie and I was like each movie should run around X minutes, so blah blah blah. Anyway, long story
Yeah,
short,
and I think we missed
we missed
barely missed that one show. Like the first show just started, and they were like, okay, another 15 minutes. So we just hung out and relaxed.
Yeah, we sat. I had to rest my feet. So it
that's
was
what I'm
good.
saying. Like long story short, we judged it by when Kevin finally texted his last text, which is like, I'm out of the bathroom. I'm free. I have done everything I need
We
to do.
extrapolated.
I can walk now.
When you looked at it, Kevin was out of there at like 11:50 something.
Yeah, it was.
Which would have put him in line for a 12 o'clock showing or 12, whatever it was.
Whatever time it was, yeah.
Well, right.
It was late. It was like
So-
6 or something.
yeah.
Well, it was
like-
nighttime. It was nighttime.
It was nighttime.
I remember it was
So
dark.
Yeah, so maybe it was like a 5 o'clock. Whatever it was right on top of the hour is where Kevin was. And so we're like, if we give it another 15 to 20 minutes,
Yeah.
by the time Kevin went from the bathroom to there and those guys wait for him to get out and watch the movie and get out of there, we knew exactly where y'all were going to
The point is that we doubted ourselves for a split second, but we both were like, no,
We never
this
left.
is it. We never left.
We knew exactly where y'all were. We just didn't know if by some miracle we had missed you.
Yeah,
Right,
but
right,
we
right.
never doubted our skills as well. We talked about it, but we're like, nope, let's hold the fort. Right
Because
here.
we've been on vacation with you and we know how long it can take you to use the
I
bathroom.
seen it. Yeah,
That's one guarantee you got.
you
That's
got.
one
That's what we
guarantee.
went for.
That's the only thing we had, and we hung our hat on that, is that Kevin is going to take a while to evacuate his bowels.
That horse came in and paid off.
And I just to be fair, and I visited that bathroom twice, and I discovered this is now my new favorite bathroom in Hollywood Studios. So I found a place which I will go do my thing, like clockwork. So, and it just so happens to be in the area which you guys were, which it worked out great.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, the moment came.
Yes.
So we've just finished the movie, and I think Lee, that was your first time watching that, right?
That is correct.
That is right. So we sat through it. Awesome movie. If you haven't had a chance to check that out in One Man's Dream, make sure that you go to. And we're strolling out. We're talking about. Oh, it was my daughter's birthday that day. My youngest. So I was telling them, I was like, yeah, before we do our next thing, I'm gonna pull off real quick and make a quick phone call, just sing happy birthday. We're gonna sing happy birthday while it's around a cake. And we ended up doing that after the surprise happened. But we're coming out. We go out into the animation courtyard. We hang a right, and we're going past by where that Little Mermaid. I think it's still a gift shop store where they had the little Voyage of the Little Mermaid. I think it's still a store. I think it might have been closed at the time.
Right on
We're
that
walking by. We're walking by, and of course, you listeners can see this on social media, and you can see the whole video of how this all went down from their perspective because they were the ones filming. We weren't filming at the time.
We were hoping.
Yes. And so we came out, and I don't know what we were talking about. I was talking with Kirk, talking with Lee. It's just the three of us. And then I hear the sound. And I'm like, I see these two individuals that look like Danny and Eli. And by that point, I'm so freaking tired. I was like, am I dreaming here? Like, what the is going on here? Like, and he's blabbing something about, hey, y'all not going live. Like, I couldn't hear the words. I was like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm not
You were
that emotional.
vacationing with Lee. You needed to get up early that day, right?
Yeah.
You weren't in your full faculties. You're like,
Yes.
I'm going through the motions. I'm doing my thing.
But I heard words flying at me, and these two individuals come out just like, hey, the magic, and I'm like, and I don't know what, I can't speak for these other guys, what their reaction, but I couldn't say a thing. I was pretty much frozen. I was like, that looks like Danny and Eli.
Well, what we said was something along the lines of, is this?
Yeah, because I had my back turned to y'all, and I heard off in the distance, hey, isn't this where the Magic Our Way podcast meetup is supposed to be?
That's exactly what it is,
okay.
yes.
It didn't register in my mind that it was your voice. Like, I just heard someone saying the words, and I didn't know who it was. I thought it was maybe someone we'd given a pin to earlier or something like that. Like, now that you replay it in your head, it makes perfect sense. You're like, oh, yeah, okay, that was Danny that said that, but when you hear the words, it doesn't register. Like, it takes like 2 or 3 seconds for you to figure out, like, wait, what's going on? And even afterwards, like, we were on a ride, and my mind was still like, wait a minute, how, they're here? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, we literally, for military terms, we got flanked bad. We were charging forward, and they attacked our right flank. Bad. Like, we would have been dead if this was a military campaign. We would have been wiped out.
This dude knows because we talked about it. We used to play a video game called Army of Two, and he was always a sniper, and I was always the guy that had the grenade launcher.
This prepared you for this moment.
It was like it's Army of Two.
I think the first word out of my mouth was, "What?"
Yes, no,
it was a very high shriek. What?
Well, that's why I wanted to make sure to be able to go and record what we had, because I knew not to go enough to go Facebook Live, because that would have alerted y'all to what we were doing. But if I recorded it, I could always upload it later.
I don't remember
no
seeing
matter
the phone
what
in
the
your hand.
quality was.
Yeah, he did.
But I did. I had the phone in my hand, and I've been like, what Lee said was 100% accurate. I said, is this where the Magic Our Way meetup is? And that's exactly what I said. And y'all turned around like, what?
And then I came right behind, and I was like, boom, you guys wanted some help, and, we need each other. It was like, we also did that not only to surprise you and make sure, you had a good time catching a video, but, that was also for Anna, who couldn't be there. And, she was like, you catch those guys off guard. You make sure
you make sure those guys know.
Yeah.
That y'all have arrived. Yeah. We were totally like surprised. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I swear I was looking at apparitions, because it's been like what, the fourth day by then.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty tired. My feet are barking.
Yes.
And I'm like, I must be seeing.
It was later in the daytime too. It was
in the evening. We had almost a full day, and
it was dusk. It was definitely dusk. The light, sun was going down. It was going down, and I was actually surprised that y'all was spending the whole day in the studios. I'm like, at some point in time to leave.
Well, it was Kirk's favorite park, so
I know, and
that's what we were like.
That worked for our favor, because we're like, we got them, because they're not leaving the studios, because we know they're going to be here, and we just have to figure out exactly where the last spot they was.
Because there was a point where he literally said, that's him. I'm like, don't lie. Because I'm staring.
That's him.
I'm staring at the front. I'm like, don't lie. They're like, nope, that's them. Look, come over here. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it was like just watching a bunch of deer just pass right by. Like, that's it. And then he took off, said what he said. And then y'all were like, oh. And then I just came right back behind there, and then that was a beautiful moment.
That was awesome.
It was.
No, that was freaking.
It was like
crazy.
I said earlier. I had to Kevin literally every day. This is Sunday. We've already been there 3-4 days. I had said every day, I wish they were here.
Yeah, everybody could have been there.
And then that was the thing. I mean, everybody, you know what? That was good love, though. Everybody said, "Hey,"
it was awesome.
Y'all was surprised. It was a happy surprise.
I got smacked for sure.
Even after this whole thing it was done, Kevin and I were still going, They're here. Well,
I know I kept bumping into him, chest bumping, whatever. I don't know what I was doing, but I was like, dude, look at you.
There was hugs.
We were dapping like,
I was like,
you're here. Like, yeah.
There were hugs, smiles, and even a few happy tears.
That's right.
Oh, no. And that was, that was on both. Because that was the thing.
Because then we're in full force. Magic Our Way full force then.
And that was the 50th.
Yeah, it was the 50th. It was at least we had to share a little part of that. You know, Raz was like, "Oh my god, I missed the whole gang," and we're like, "We didn't know the whole gang. We didn't even know."
We literally saw her earlier that day.
Yeah, we had lunch with her at the Brown Derby that day.
Oh boy!
So she was just there, and she, thanks to her, we got on to Rise of the Resistance, and then we had the rest of the day, and then you guys show up, and we're like, "What the hell?"
See, there you go. In a full day. And look, and like to be fair, right? We saw y'all like you'll send us pictures of like other various
events and stuff that was
people
happening,
and stuff that you take pictures. So like, I mean, y'all had a time, you know, we just felt like, you know, maybe we could add
absolutely
to it.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great. And we'll get into a lot of the stuff that we did together and whatnot on our future discussion about this trip. But yeah, the surprise was a lot of fun. It definitely was a lot of fun.
Glad you liked it.
Yes. Thanks for coming down. At least had a part of that. And then in the next trip, we'll definitely plan just from the get-go, a podcast trip for sure.
You sure? Am I invited to this one? I'm not. I don't know.
Oh yeah, if
we may have to do an Eli and Lee trip. A Lehi. How would we do that?
Oh, you want some quality time with Eli to make amends? There you go. You could do that, and then me, Kirk, and Danny could surprise you.
Oh, okay.
Just be careful when you jump in his bed.
Yeah,
that's how we'll surprise him.
Jump on his bed.
We'll sneak into
my bed.
Yeah, we'll sneak in the room when you go back to sleep. We'll all jump in your bed.
That's gonna be in the morning then, right? Because like he'll tell you, like anybody will tell you at night. I'm a total night owl.
Eli, just let it happen.
just lay back. It's okay.
Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed that first part of our 50th trip report and guest services segment. If you want to learn more about us, magicourway.com is the way to go. There you'll find our social media links, past episodes, and more. Also, if you want to get in touch with us to share your opinions and observations and whatnot, just like our listeners did at the beginning of the show, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com, or you could call or send us a text message at this number, 1-815-MOWEEKEND. That is 1-815...
How'd you like that teaser weekend?
What?
669-4226. And of course, we have a couple of guys who do things outside of the podcast. First of all, I got Eli, does things with comics.
Hey,
Rob Liefeld here. Deadpool, Cable, X-Force, Domino, Marvel Comics, Image Comics, all of it. You guys, what is up? Eli Ivory. What a great name. Eli Ivory, comic guru. I'm here to talk about you. I am here to say, check out ivorycomics.com. That's right, you. Check out ivorycomics.com. ivorycomics.com. If you're not doing that, you're missing out. The Savages comic cannot be beat, cannot be surpassed. You need to check it out, experience it for yourself, and you know the story. It's all about the glory. Congrats to you and all the magic that you're making with your Ivory Comics. Eli Ivory, comic book guru. Check out ivorycomics.com, comic book guru, Eli Ivory. The whole package. Deadpool said to. Do it. ivorycomics.com right now. Liefeld out.
I quote Billy the Kid from Young Guns 2. That's the best $1.50 I ever spent. You heard what Rob said. You know what he's telling you is the truth. That dude's a legend. I mean, that guy knows what he's talking about.
And he's not kidding. He spent about $1.50 on that last trip.
I totally did. Because I make books, and that's just what I do. I just try to keep the creative.
And we took care of all the rest of it.
That's why.
That's right.
That's why it's helpful to be a creative, but you got to choose.
That's right. Call me Tungsten.
Yeah. Call me Tungsten. Yeah, you go ahead. You get him. That's right. I protect this ranch. Mm-hmm. I'm a regulator, baby. All day, every day. That's right. So you could go ahead. You heard what he said. Follow that. You can go ahead and check out that Ivory Comics webpage, get all that good art. You also get a link to this podcast by these people that make sure that the guy that helped to make the website gets to go on a trip and tell you about more adventures. He can get the creativity to make more books so that Rob's endorsement is even more true than the truth that has before. You know what? That truth is so blunt, you don't even need to smoke it to get high off it.
That's right.
That's right.
You never miss a Billy the Kid Avika.
That's it. Best $2.50 I ever spent.
$2.50.
So you can go on Facebook.com. Check me out right there. Eli Jive, as long as you're a real person, how you doing? I'm going to see the likes and all this stuff. But you're a bot. If you are a bot, I am trained to defeat you. And I know who you are. Michelle Lewin, 205 5.0. You not the real thing. I know about you. Get off my page. I ain't having you spam nobody else and then blame me for it. That's why I got away from women who are that toxic. That's right. I don't believe in toxic masculinity, but I do believe in absorbing something that's toxic. That's what happens right there. Let me get out of there. Be like Macho Man right now.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Are you okay?
Never okay.
Do you need a hug?
No. What I do need you to do is to go to the Project Geisha page and check that out on Facebook. Love that. People have put likes on that. That's right. Love that. That's right. I'd go ahead and make sure all heroes are represented. That's
All
what
of
you do all day, every day. Instagram, right there. EIV504. I post up hearts and likes. That's how I know about Jerome. That's right. That's how I meet new people. That's how we bring in fans in here so they can know about the truth. Because we are not pixies. You understand?
No.
We are not pixies.
No.
We are all in. We do this all day, every day. We will surprise you. And if you don't think we don't know what you're up to, if you just heard this last show, we'll stalk you.
That's like a little Macho Man-ish,
That's
right?
I just, you know what? You didn't even bring that character out, but you need to talk about that story. So yeah, Instagram, EIV504, and of course on Twitter, I can be found at Hancock10166. So if you appreciate the madness, then you're just bringing me the gladness, brother.
Oh, yeah. That's how we know about the last Airbender. That's how we know about the last Boy Scout.
Yeah.
That's how we know about the last Kingdom.
You get it all right
that.
there, baby. And that's how it is. Cream of the crop, going to the top. Magic our way all day. Hitting episode 400, brother. Woo! You can't beat that. Yeah.
And if you want to book a vacation to visit Walt Disney World during the 50th anniversary celebration, all happening all year long, you could do it through Lee.
Wishful Wandering Travel. That is Rachel Ramirez. Wishful Wandering Travel. Man, is she good.
I got to just say this. It's like a situation where you don't want your partner to cheat on you, but if you did, you'd be like, all right, I understand.
that.
Yeah, that's fair. Because you didn't even like acknowledge some of your partners.
Well played, Lee. Well played.
But
It's
nice.
like, all right, if that's going to happen, at least I lost to that person.
So what I'm hearing is, as long as it's Rachel, it's fine.
yeah.
Right.
100%.
Okay.
100%. We felt like we were taken care of completely. So if you call Lee Lastavica and that number is busy, don't.
Which it won't be.
It won't be.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very lonely, especially on
That's right.
the weeknights. Yes.
And Thanksgiving.
And if he's at the pool, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're
He's at
totally
the
screwed.
pool?
If he's at the community pool, you're totally screwed.
He's got his indoor pool.
But every other point, no. He's completely forgotten about that. No one cares about an above ground pool. That's just nonsense.
Ricky Bobby does.
But that's saying a lot that we're endorsing her is because we don't get money from her bookings, but we get them through Lee. But she's a long time a week and we respect her. We love her. Her and her husband, they're both great people.
Absolutely.
And she does a great job.
That's a testament to our honesty because we don't get a dime from Dope Whip beer.
No.
But we're
You need to
totally
come up.
endorsing them.
This
Yes.
is good stuff.
Totally
Yes.
endorsing them because that is a good beer. It is very reminiscent of a Dole Whip. So if you want to go ahead and experience that, you can experience that. And look, we are not bound by money. Well, we are, but we're not.
It helps.
Paid
Money
enough.
helps.
We're not. Yeah,
But we're also honest.
we're totally 100% honest. We're not getting paid that much to compromise our integrity. Not to say our integrity isn't for sale.
That's why the universe just helps us out when it can.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
But
right.
in the meantime, until the universe pays us, we're going to be honest.
But we fight for this city and we fight for this state. And that's what's sitting here at the table right now.
Money or no money.
Yeah,
All day.
book a Rachel again. If not, you could definitely book with Lee for the 50th vacation. So tell them how to do this, sir.
100%.
100%. Give me a call at 832-431-1621. That's 832 Captain Bandana. 832 CPTNBDANA. You can email me at lee@magicourway.com. Facebook, you can find me at facebook.com/Lastovica Travel, LASTOVICA Travel. You can also get me on Instagram. You got a friend in Lee Travel, and TikTok. You got a friend in Lee.
All that talk.
I like your joke.
Yes. And if
And your
yes,
talk.
thank you, sir. You didn't know the gun was in the talk.
No.
Magic Our Way is on the TikTok too. We only have 2 videos, but we're on the TikTok as well.
Get the
Yeah,
top.
we're getting there. We're getting there.
We're getting
But anyway, you do any of that?
Eli's going to bring the talk.
Yes.
Yes.
He says it.
Yep.
Thick talk.
I'm Doc Talk.
You-
Thick talk. Go ahead.
do any of that? Do any of that? We'll get you hooked up and booked up with no.
Hasselvika.
In addition, guys, there's so many ways to support the show as a whole, and you can find them all on our website, magicourway.com. Any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. We also want to take a second and thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome in the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So, Mohegans, we say Kwaharini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
I have every intention of eating those bananas for breakfast, but I still somehow end up with tacos.
Jollibee Burgers.
You know what, Eli?
What?
It doesn't matter where I am, but I always have Mad Hatter Radio with me.
That's it. It's
It
all
is.
about the Mad Hatter Radio heart.
It is, man. I have it always with me. When I'm at work, Mad Hatter Radio.
That's it. It's